Hey, Kat here. Hey, if you've been in business for a while, you probably get the importance of creating content consistently. Most business owners understand that. But it's one thing to create content that kind of just ticks a box and maybe gets you likes, maybe gets people reading your content. And it's another thing entirely to create content that actually gets you leads and gets you clients. There's one approach that's guaranteed to get you more leads and more clients than anything else. And if you know it, you can have that certainty that everywhere you show up, in your emails, in your posts, in your videos, in your web pages, everywhere you show up online, you'll know that you're way more likely to get leads and clients. For years, I noticed that there was content that kind of pulled me in and made me stop the scroll. And there was other content that made me scroll away. But I didn't know why. I didn't get what was going on behind the scenes. If you think of it like an iceberg, you see the tip of the iceberg, you see the surface of what's happening, but underneath there's a whole lot happening when good marketers know how to get you to pay attention. And really that's what we're after online is people's attention, right? We need people's time. We need people's eyeballs on our stuff. And so it's not about using some tricky new platform or some actual method of getting it out there. It's actually about what we're saying. It's about the words that we're using and the way we are presenting our content. And if we follow human behavior psychology principles that are timeless, it doesn't matter what platforms come and go, what's happening with the algorithm. If we know how to talk to our ideal clients, if we know how to connect with them in a way that really reaches their heart, reaches their minds, reaches deep into their souls and gets people saying, oh my goodness, she gets me, then we'll know with certainty that we can show up anywhere on an interview, on a podcast, going and speaking on a summit, at a networking event. When we've got influence principles, they can be infused throughout all of our content. So if you want to get more leads and more clients from your content, it's so important that you understand influence. And influence, it's important not only to understand it, but know how to use it ethically, elegantly, and effectively. So tools are ethicless. Like the tool of influence in the wrong person's hands can be used to manipulate and, cause damage. It's like a toddler with a knife, a knife can be used to hurt people, or a knife can be used to make a beautiful meal for someone. So the tool itself is ethicless. So we want to be able to use influence in an ethical way, in a way that's elegant, meaning it doesn't come across as pushy or manipulative or like you're trying to get someone to do what they want to do. Influence, when you do it in an elegant way and an effective way, it actually makes sure that everywhere you show up, it's taking people on a journey to actually get what they want. I love how Zig Ziglar says, if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. So you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. So we can use influence to help people get what they want. And often what you offer people, the incredible service that you offer, the program, the coaching, whatever it is that you offer people, the marketing piece is the bridge that gets people to actually want to work with you. So if we understand influence becomes the bridge. I call it the decision bridge. If you imagine that there are people on this side of the bridge and they come across your content, influence is the bridge that leads them to taking that next step towards working with you. Frank Kern, he's one of the top marketers in the world. He said, inspiring people to put their hard-earned money into your pocket instead of theirs is one of the hardest things to do. So how well can you influence other people? How well can you influence other people to actually care about what you're saying and not just listen to it and care, but actually take action? That's the bridge, is actually taking action, not just consuming your content, but being inspired to actually change their life. There are a lot of people out there creating content, but not a lot of people know how to do this. Not many people know how to use influence principles effectively, meaning it actually works. And they end up really disappointed when their content doesn't get them leads and doesn't get them clients. So when you learn and you follow the principles of influence, you know that this is going to be a predictable reliable way to bridge that gap. I read a quote recently by Peter Cunningham. He's from Geneva Leadership Alliance. He said, you can learn all the knowledge in the world about the changes you want to make, but if you can't influence other people, you'll only have frustration to look forward to. Isn't that quite a sobering thought? If you can't influence, you'll only have frustration to look forward to. So knowing proven influence principles can really change everything for you and your business. And the best part is that anybody can learn it. Anyone can learn these skills. You don't have to have a degree in copywriting. When you know how to influence elegantly, you can help people to cross that bridge. So in this video, I'm sharing 3 scientifically proven elements your content needs to get more clients. So thank you for joining me. If you're here live, can you just put a hashtag live into the comments right now? I'd love to know who's here, and please give this a like if you enjoy this content, just so that Facebook will show it to more people. I really appreciate it. Great to see you, Kim. Great to see you, Karina. Great to see you, Trish and Candy. Let me just tag a few people wanted to be tagged in. All right, cool. So let's talk about the scientifically proven elements and how to create influential content from the very inventor of the art itself, Aristotle. Aristotle was a Greek philosopher, and he was one of the founding fathers of communication theory. 2,300 years ago, Aristotle wrote a piece of rhetoric. We don't really use the word rhetoric much these days anymore, but rhetoric is defined as the art of persuasion. The art of persuasion, in other words, influence. Aristotle believed that persuasion occurs when 3 components, 3 elements are represented: ethos, logos, and pathos. So if you're taking notes, write these down. I'm going to go through them one by one. So number 1 is ethos. So influence with ethos. The first principle of influential content, according to Aristotle, the Greek philosopher over 2,000 years ago, is ethos. In other words, ethics. Ethics are what make your audience feel safe. It's what makes your audience feel that they can trust you, that you are a good source. You are a source of information, like the right information, helpful information, correct and true information. So how do we use this in our content? Well, first of all, it's important that our content shows our credibility. We need to make sure that we build our trust and we build that feeling of certainty and safety and like ticking that box in someone's mind through showing our credibility. And I know it's not always very PC to brag on ourselves, but I was reading an email the other day. It came through, the subject line was bragging is healthy. I was like, oh, this is interesting. And she was basically talking about how no one's gonna give people the certainty of being able to put their confidence in us like we can. Like no one else can do it. Yes, testimonials are super powerful, but if you have 100 testimonials on your website, but you don't believe in you, if you don't have confidence, and if you don't show up going, yes, I can help you, and you have certainty, rock solid certainty in your voice, it doesn't mean that you're 100% confident, but if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. So we need to show our credibility. Yes, we can balance that with vulnerability, and I totally recommend that you do. So whenever we have credibility, we need to balance it with humility and vulnerability. So it's both. It's not one or the other, but it's really important that we show our credibility everywhere we show up. We show up, we show it through our personal branding. We show it through our confidence in our delivery, the way we deliver. If we're showing up and doubting ourselves, even if there's that energy in the way we're speaking, even in the way we're typing, people feel it. Would you agree? Have you noticed that? So our personal branding, the way we show up, the confidence we have, providing real value, like actual tangible value, results for people. Like, are you getting results for people on a day-to-day basis? And if not, what can you do to make sure that you are out there working on the ground with other human beings and making sure that they get a result? Ethics is about value. It's about long-term value. I see a lot of people sacrifice ethics or their integrity in order to get fast results and fast cash and achieve their goals faster. And it is not worth it. It is not worth it. Many years ago, I reckon about 15 years ago, one of my mentors said to me 3 words. He said, reputation over money. Reputation over money. Protect your reputation over anything. You might be tempted to do quick fixes, like messaging everybody you know, asking them to like your Facebook page. Remember when that was a thing? I've seen people go into multiple Facebook groups doing the exact same copy and paste thing. Like, I got 98 leads this week. Who wants to know how? And this hypey language that can sometimes be just really damaging for their reputation. I've also seen people who advertise their business or offers in an email or a webinar, and that they advertise that the answers are in the email or in the webinar. And then when people open the email or attend the event, the answers aren't there. And then people feel like there's no integrity, there's no trust here, there's no valuable. It's not an ethical way to operate. People feel ripped off, with clickbaity kind of email subject lines. People feel ripped off. They feel like you're not being genuine. They're feeling like you didn't provide what they were told that they would receive. And I get it, it's a marketing tactic, but they're not building a connection through those types of tactics, let alone building credibility. So that's the way I think of ethics in our business, doing things in an ethical way. In business, you do things with integrity. You show up as human, you show up real. If you make a mistake, you apologize. You don't pretend that you've got it all together. If you're in business for the long haul, it's important to have that abundance mindset and not sacrifice it for unethical tactics. If you keep your integrity, if you treat your clients really well, if you're totally honest, if you are in alignment, then you will maintain your reputation and your credibility. And reputation trumps money every time, because it's so hard to get your reputation back if you lose it. But money, you can get money anywhere, anytime. So trust is exchanged with people like a currency. It's given and received. If you build up trust over time, but then lose it, it can be really hard to rebuild. It's not impossible, but it can take a lot of work. So because trust builds the basis of all human relationships and the extent to which you have influence, it's largely based on the extent of how much people trust you. So what are you doing to build that trust? There are other ways we can build trust, like being consistent, being reliable, doing what we say we're going to do, being on time. Like, all of those things can help build that trust. All right. So number 1 is to influence with ethos. Number 2 is to influence with pathos. Influence with pathos. Pathos is emotional content. Emotional content. Aristotle's second tool of persuasion is pathos. It's the use of emotion. So we can use emotion by telling stories, by using inspirational quotes, by using vivid language, bringing things to life. Brené Brown says, maybe stories are just data with a soul. So it's data, it's facts, it's stats, it's your content, but it's with a soul. It's got soul to it. I think that's cool. It's not just about facts, but it's got a soul to it. And great content creators are great storytellers. You can use stories to evoke emotion. You can talk about real life stories. You can share your client stories. You can lay out scenarios and scenes to bring things to life, to describe a scene which can evoke emotion. Some psychologists believe that using human reasoning is just an attempt to justify your emotional decisions. So whether this is right or not, emotions have the power to trigger action. So you think about the brands that you love. Think about Apple or Nike or I don't know, like a food brand that you love, and think about the emotion that you have by consuming that product. And maybe it's a certain car or, a type of clothing, and it's got this ability to evoke emotions. And that's why those ads that those big companies have, they really invest good money into it, because it's the ads that move us that make the difference, that are actually influential. I do know that most people tend to buy emotionally and back it up with logic. So without pathos, content can be just like a list of facts, and no one likes to be bored by just facts alone. On the other hand, if we only have emotion without pathos, without facts, you feel like it's too fluffy and you're not really getting true value. So it's about having that balance. You want to make your audience feel something. You want to move them. You want them to energetically experience something in what you're saying. You want to create that bridge between us and them. And you do that by being real. Like, there's a bridge between you and your audience. And when we influence in a way where they feel like you're on their side, that you are, it's almost like when you invite people through your content to come into that like, what am I trying to say? Like, it's insiderish. That's probably not a word, but when it feels insiderish, when it's like, oh, you're coming into someone's world behind the scenes, that's what can really move people, rather than just reading a list of facts. The largest engagement that I received on a post was a super vulnerable post. It got over 500 comments. I couldn't believe it. Like, I didn't do it intentionally. It wasn't a content strategy. It was just a personal post. It wasn't even for my business. I just posted a very vulnerable share. It wasn't a marketing tactic, but 500 comments. I was like, it was really interesting to see that when you talk vulnerably about the struggle, like I did in that post, it was actually really hard for me. I was talking about a health issue and just seeing how people responded to it. So emotion is an incredible way to create a sense of bonding and rapport with people, because people don't buy you just because they trust you. They also buy from you because they feel like they know you and they like you. We want to do business with people that we like, right? So ask yourself, in your content, are you evoking enough emotion? And if not, ask yourself how you can evoke emotion a little bit more with your content. So thanks, Karina. So what are you liking so far, team? Just pop in the comments. What's resonating? What are you enjoying so far? Is anything kind of standing out to you so far? Just pop it in the chat box. Number 3. So number 1 is ethos. Number 2, pathos. Number 3, logos. And this is logical content. So Aristotle's third rule is logos, which is also known as reason. So there's a few elements to this of how I apply this in my content. So first of all, it's the structure of your content. If your content is just fluffy, if it's just a download, if you haven't taken the time to craft it well, then people often can't absorb it and be influenced by it. So I take the time to really craft my content in a way that it has a logical flow. It goes in order. It doesn't mean that it's rigid and boring. It just means that I'm thinking through the way human behavior, the way our mind works. And I go into a lot of detail about this when I teach on this, how to create compelling content. By the way, I'm sharing about exactly how to do it, because we work up the brainstem. So I show the exact structure that I use in all my different content videos and written content. I'm explaining the brain science around it. So if you are interested, just pop the word workshop in the comments and I'll send you the details. But basically, for logos, I recommend that you look at the structure and make sure that you're structuring your content in a way that follows the human way that our brain is operating, because we work from our hindbrain to our midbrain up to our prefrontal cortex. So we need to be structured. We also need to make sure that we reference, excuse me, any kind of case studies, quotes, facts, stats, to give evidence to what we're saying, to back up what we're saying. Because otherwise people are like, oh, is that real? Is that just an opinion? So we can use like comparisons and factual evidence, quoting studies, things like that, to really support what we're saying. We can also use anecdotal experience, things that you've personally experienced or you've experienced with your clients to back up what you're saying. Another element is to use analogies and metaphors. The brain operates so well with analogies and metaphors, we just straight away get it. That's why I use, for example, the bridge as a metaphor. It's just a metaphor. It helps us understand the world. So we need to empathize with that audience, meet them where they're at, and think, how can I take them on a journey that's emotional, that is ethical, and it has logical flow? And it's explaining things in a way where they can really consume it. If we don't have the structure, if it's all over the place, if it's just like a blur, where we go on all these tangents, it doesn't make sense, the person can't learn from it. It's not digestible. When we're sitting one-on-one with a girlfriend, we go on tangents. Give me a wife a yes if you ever go on tangents with your girlfriends or with anybody. You're on this and then you're over here and then you meander. We meander. We do that as women, particularly. It's the way we're wired, most of us. Not all of us, a lot of us. So the way we have a one-on-one conversation is completely different to how we need to talk to an audience. We've got to remember that everyone in our audience is different. We can't just talk like we're talking to one person. A lot of people don't have a clear thought out structure, an intro, a body, a call to action. They don't think about things like that. They don't take it through an actual formula. They just share as though they're sharing to one person. But that means that a lot of your audience misses out. Remember that we're sending it out to a whole lot of different personalities and learning styles. We've got to consider these things. So there's so much more to it. I just wanted to give you three elements that you can start considering to put into your content. I share a structure called my Attract formula, which has got 7 different pieces. But valuable content follows a structure. I'm going to be teaching those 7 ingredients in my upcoming workshop, and I'm going to be talking a lot deeper into the brain science so that you can keep people engaged, grab attention and maintain attention so that they keep reading or they keep listening. So if you want to come, just pop the word workshop into the comments right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, just send me an email and I'll get the details to you, info@katmiller.com. And if you're watching this on a page, then there will be a button for you to click on. So if there's one key point I want you to take away, it's this: when you know how to use influence in an elegant way in your content, your marketing becomes much easier, much more enjoyable, and much more effective. It means you show up with more confidence, you connect better with your ideal clients, with your dream clients, and you can attract more people into your business that you can help. And these are just skills. They're skills that anyone can develop, and you can develop it. So if you want to know more about the workshop, it's called How to Get Clients with Compelling Content. I only run the workshop once a year. So if you want to know how to get quality clients online, this is for you. DM me the word workshop or drop it in the comments. And so take care, my friends. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here live. I always appreciate those of you that do show up consistently. Thank you for being here. And remember to keep showing up, keep sharing. The world needs your words. They matter. They matter. Take care. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.